Hi, so I'm just making this some more long form video to show you guys in real time how I reflect each solar season, just using my sun, moon, and rising. So I'm gonna share my screen, and this is a sheet that I share in my Your Personal Astrologer. It's basically just having your three charts in one place. And three charts, you might be like, what the heck? What does that mean? I call it the tri-lens technique, where you are essentially having your solar, lunar, and natal chart all in one place. So I'm going to show you basically how to create it. I'm going to do that right now with mine. So my natal chart in the middle, I started the signs in this paper here as they are in the sky, like Aries, but my natal chart starts at Pisces 1, and so I'm just gonna like do it. I can just stop at Taurus because it's Taurus season, so I want to do that. But what you would do is start at the sign in question. So my rising sign is Pisces, and then one, two, three, four, counterclockwise. No, this is clockwise. Yeah, clockwise. Um, so one, two, three, four, five, six, and so on. But I all I care about right now is Taurus because the sun is in Taurus. So that's why. Now I'm going to go to my lunar chart. My moon sign is in Scorpio. So now I want to count from Scorpio. Um, Scorpio 1. This is also where it gets weird when you're at different sides of the chart. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Um, so now I'm gonna just stop at 7 because we know now Taurus rules my moon sign's seventh house. And now my sun sign is in Leo. So 1, and I'm just gonna still go with the pattern of counting clockwise. So this one's gonna be longer. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So then I'm going to focus in on this information. And I might change the screen so you don't have to look at this ugly stuff right now. But basically, we can just even zoom in on. Um, oh, I can't do that. Let me see if I can can I think I can stick these, stamp it? No. Okay, that's okay. Um, Basically, all that matters is I know that Taurus rules my Leo's, my sun's 10th house, my moon's seventh house, and my rising sign's third house. So Taurus season is coming to a close. So I want to reflect on these life areas. So I have the houses memorized. But if you're doing this technique, you can Google what those houses mean, what those numbers mean, um, and start reflecting from there. But I'm going to start with my natal chart in the middle. Through my rising sign, my third house is activated. So this speaks to me having more action regarding communication during this Taurus season. And it's really funny that I actually, started working with an editor, reached out to editors, hopefully like set a date when to start working with her, started working with more students and stuff focused on my communication with my business, which is my creativity and self-expression. So I can associate that with the third house. And with it being through my rising sign, it really is in terms of how the world is engaging with me, how I'm engaging with the world. It's refocusing on my writing and self-expression. Third house stuff. Really, really cool. And that is just such an obvious thing that showed up. Now, my moon sign is activated through its seventh house. So this is emotionally how I'm feeling regarding seventh house themes, relationships is being activated this season. And Taurus season is this in-between season with my partner's birthday actually, and some and family birthdays. So Taurus season is always one where I'm like thinking about my husband and because his birthday is in May. He's a Gemini though. But I feel so content with my relationships. And so with Scorpio activating my seventh house, there's definitely been a renewal of feeling emotionally secure in my marriage and stuff like that. So it it's really been a pleasant emotional time this season with in regards to my romantic relationship. Then the seventh house through your moon sign is also about like engaging in contracts and other partnerships. So, like I said, I approached an editor, I started working with other students and stuff, and I noticed my emotions were being more drained when I was getting nervous about like, is this the right contract? Is this the right type of person to work with? What's my life going to be looking like if I create this partnership or this relationship? Because especially relationships with contractors or students aren't, our contracts not forever long-term partnerships. So that's where my emotions were maybe the most involved in Taurus season, which is really cool. And, this gives me peace of mind where I'm like, okay, of course I had to be focused on that. Um, and then this is a lovely kind of combination too. I love this month and how it works out, or this season, I should say, where through my sun sign, through my ego, my 10th house is activated. And the 10th house is career and ambition. And like I just shared regarding the third house and the seventh house experiences, this Taurus season has been highly focused on my career. Now, it's been focused on my astrology career and some fears about, my financial status or how the longevity of certain factors of my career. But this Taurus season, I really did set proper foundations or been more vocal and expressive, third house theme there too, on my career goals, like my Sarah Goldsmith Astrology Research Initiative, getting that started, working on the surveys with the students I'm working with, getting more focused on my guidebook that will be available for clients and for strangers. So, all of those themes tie beautifully together with my focuses for Taurus season. That is not always the case. So, to continue this, I can be like, okay, that's a lovely wrap up for Taurus season. I feel like I've accomplished and worked within those goals. Is there a few days left? Not really, but like I'm happy with how I developed those life areas or felt in those life areas this season. So now I'm like, I want to prepare for Gemini season. So we know through my rising sign, fourth house, Gemini, eighth house, through my moon sign, and 11th house through my ego, my sun sign. Now, my next question is, okay, what can I anticipate or be prepared for in these life areas? So the fourth house through my rising sign, this suggests I'll be engaging more with my family or my home environment. In Gemini season, we're literally getting our roof done. So I might be engaging more in like not being at home when that's happening, like working outside of the house and then having to come home and be like, yes, I'm home back in my space, which is great. So the dynamics with home stuff and how I'm engaging with the world and other people, literally like the roofers, like all of that stuff coming up and focusing in on Gemini season. Emotionally, with the eighth house being activated through my Scorpio, this is interesting because it comes in with a lot of factors. The eighth house is like your relationship to transformation, discomfort. So being uncomfortable by having routine changes with my house, stuff going on, any other routine changes that might come up. It might also make me feel more emotionally like withdrawn and like reflective, feeling a little bit busier maybe because I have all of these projects on the go. So emotionally, I'm a little bit like working through going from one place to another of initiating these projects and actually doing them, right? So, with my moon sign being activated by the eighth house, sometimes I get a little scared because it does mean that there's change happening and my fears could be activated. So I want to be like okay, Gemini season, make sure to treat myself well emotionally. Don't get too down on myself or don't know my triggers, like, okay, I want to make sure I'm saving money and not spending enough. So, like, am I setting a budget? Am I locking my credit card even? Am I setting certain boundaries to really safeguard my emotions so I'm not overspending because I'm going to be out of the house more? Stuff like that is on my mind or what just kind of like came up. So yeah, so the eighth house is always an interesting one because you can't really be prepared for some of the discomfort that you might feel. You don't really know, but it's really a sign to be like, hey, just watch your emotions. It can change for good, being like, oh, you're progressing, you're improving on all of these things, or superseding your expectations, or you could be affected and getting a little emotional. Then through my ego, Gemini season activates my 11th house through my sun sign. So this is about community. And I mean, literally being out of the house a little bit more. I'll be in my community a little bit more. So that's kind of funny. But I think also talking with my students, working with my students, and the stuff I built in Taurus season, being more engaged in these groups. I also have a bunch of different like friend things booked. So engaging with my friendships, but also, I think the 11th house speaks to your aspirations and builds on the 10th house. So, like living in this world, like I said, where I've put some of my big career goals in motion and now executing them and living within my aspirations. So, it could be a little bit busier of a month. Now, we can take this a step further and look at how those life areas also interact or have different energies in different signs. I just want to, for a second, follow up on my emotional. Um, Through my moon sign, my 11th house, I'm just calculating it here, is ruled by Virgo. And Virgo is a sister sign to Gemini because they're both ruled by Mercury. So if I was like, wait, how busy is this going to be? I would look at how deeper into the signs that it's in. Gemini and Virgo ruled by Mercury. So I feel like the busyness is going to be more in my head, like producing materials, talking, communicating. It might not be like busy physical movement. I would also want to look at where Mercury is during the season. I believe it's going from Gemini to Cancer throughout the season. So like it's placed in emphasis of the life areas I already highlighted. So that is just what I wanted to share. How to delineate or make sense of the transits in real time just using your sun, moon, and rising sign. Um, this is not letting me close it. So I'm going to post this video somewhere for you to learn from, hang out with me and learn about what I'm going through as a person. But hopefully, it inspires you to do these little calculations on your own. Again, this is something I do in your personal astrologer for my clients for all of the transits. And it takes a lot of practice to begin thinking about astrology this way. I can do it so effortlessly after 8 years. So, so if it's hard, if it doesn't make sense at first, don't worry. You can always ask me questions either in the comments where you're watching this or on Instagram, on my email. I got your back. Have a great day.